Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday, the 13th of March. With Robert Murray McShane, one of the chapters we read today is John chapter 3, the well-known passage where Jesus meets Nicodemus. And he has that John 3 verse 16, for God so loved the world. But it starts off with introducing Nicodemus. And we're told by John that there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a member of the Jewish ruling council. He came to Jesus at night. So here's somebody who's a Pharisee, a well-educated person, a member of the ruling council, so somebody that is respected in the community, and he comes to Jesus. Now, depending on the commentators you read, the one will say he came at night. That shows at the time of evil, it was dark, and certainly there's quite a bit in John about light and dark. But other people say he came to Jesus because if you look at Jesus' ministry, he's busy all day and there were people constantly coming to him. And the fact that he came at night shows that he wanted to have time with Jesus, to really be able to find out who Jesus was and what he stood for and what was going on. You'll have to make up your own mind. But here you have this Pharisee, this learned person coming and finding out about Jesus. And Jesus treating him with respect and engaging with him and speaking about what he's come for and talking theology with him. And although John 3:16 is well known, the rest of the chapter is quite heavy going if you start getting into it. And then a little later, the focus shifts to John the Baptist. And we're told that Jesus went out and was near the Jordan and he started baptizing people. And some of John's disciples came to him and said, that person that you pointed to, he's busy baptizing, and all the people are going to him now. And John's response was, I can only receive what God gives me. And he ends up and he says, he must become greater, I must become less. And what a wonderful statement of humility. And for us today, it's almost a given. Of course, Jesus must become greater. He's the Son of God. He's the Messiah. He's going to die and rise again. John didn't know any of that. John didn't have the introduction to the Gospel of John to refer to. In the beginning was the Word. None of that was there. From his perspective, Jesus was his cousin, this relative of his, who was just another man. Looked like everybody else, spoke like everybody else. Some of his teaching would have a bit more authority, but there's no mention in the Gospels that John came and sat to listen to what Jesus was saying and heard his teaching. He probably picked it up secondhand from other people. And yet he's able to say, he must become greater, I must become less. That really was inspired. That really was relying on what he believed God had told him. So, for us, I think we need to be like Nicodemus, irrespective of our status. Come to Jesus humbly and say, Lord, we want to know more. And like John, we've got to recognize that the more we know, the more we've got to point to Jesus and say, it's all about him. It's not about me. It's all about Jesus. So be encouraged as you go through life that we're able to do this. And as we do it, we get to know him more. As we know him more, we are blessed.